on a feeling wise, just trying to figure out what's important and where I would put my money. That was like the biggest task on my part. And I was just thinking about 10 million. So to even start grasping and thinking about 100 million, I would honestly just invest 90% of it, because the rest I wouldn't know where to put it. That's a whole lot of money. So um, that would be like my route.
When you guys think about this kind of an amount, I mean, this amount is achievable. People won the lottery for more.
Hmm.
The question is, when you do win it, like when you're just contemplating it, like, okay, 100 million, what does that even mean? Like, what does it mean to me right now? How my life is changing? Would I still work buyers? Will I still take buyer calls and go help first time home buyers? And then all of a sudden you're like, no, I wouldn't do that. So, okay, so why wouldn't I do that? Because I don't need the money. So, okay, so what would I do then? And it makes you go deeper, and it makes you ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm actually doing right now?
Hmm.
What's the value in what I'm doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? I chose to be a realtor. Great. Why? Because I want to make money. Okay, so now I have all the money that I need. What's now? And now you go deeper. And this is, I told you, we have 3 layers inside. Like, spirit is in your mind, your soul's in your heart. So when you want to go deeper, you start asking real questions. What's important to you? Then the other exercise, which was, you got 30 days to live. Now you really need to think about, okay, what's important to me? And you're putting it right there in front of you. Some of you wanted to make some notes for your family, which is all great. The majority of people are going to answer this question very similar. I'm going to spend my time with family, people I love, and maybe apologizing to some people, and these are more or less, I mean, I can see most people would answer similar.
Yeah.
um but the feeling is really what it's all about. Like, when you go deeper, like, okay, am I doing right now, like, is my life, like, what's stopping me now from saying sorry to people? Or what's stopping me right now from being more time with my family? Why do I need to, why do I need someone to tell me I have 30 days in order to live my life as if it's my last day? Like, every day should be like it's my last day. Do I live my life like every day is my last day? No, I don't. I live my life as if I have endless amounts of days ahead of me. And I'm sure that the majority of people are like that. You
Yeah.
don't think about, you don't think about the end.
We
One
don't
of the
think
most,
about death ever. I mean, most people don't even have health, like life insurance because of it. The last thing we
right?
want to think about and ponder is what is life going to look like after we're not here. So I think just the human aspect of that thought process, like, it just keeps us away from even thinking that far out. So
It can be also people are scared when they think about it.
yeah.
Like, a lot of people feel like they're falling. Like, let me grasp to something, like, because it's an unknown territory and I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean if I die? I'm not here anymore, so I don't see you guys anymore. So we don't meet anymore. We don't talk anymore. I don't eat anymore. Like this, I'm leaving this body. What is it? Contemplating it. Most people don't. And some people actually really don't care about anyone else. Some people are like that. They just think about themselves all the time. It's like no one else exists. I don't know, but I know of some people that they don't even care about their children. So I think that question maybe should be referred to everybody across the board, makes people think about what's real, what is real and what is fake. And you want to make sure that you're on track doing the things that you really want to do. Like, you're not doing anything that you're not interested in. Everything that you do in your life is on purpose. So the last, obviously the 30 days, you're going to want to do as much as you want to do. And maybe some of the things you wrote down, you should go do them right now. What about having a will? meet with the financial advisor and write down a will, so that when you do pass, everything is organized, instead of leaving chaos to your family to fight over. That's, by the way, one of the main reasons why families get into fights is because there was no will.
Yep.
Or it can also be that there was a will and they were not included, or they were included on a small portion and were expecting more, or whatever the story is. But you're trying to create peace. Some people give all their inheritance to charity because they don't want their family to fight over the money. So they prefer that the family would say, look at this blank leaving us like that, you know. But if you think about it, sometimes they do it for a very particular reason. So contemplating it, thinking about the end, will help you be a better person right now, better parent, better friend, better everything. And then what the other question does, to you is making you think, am I doing now what I love? Because if I do what I love, then even when I get 100 million, I continue to do what I love. For example, if I made 100 million, what you'll see me do, would you still see me do real estate? I doubt it. I'm probably going to do a lot more photography, because that's something I really love. Like, I do it because I'm passionate about it, and it's something that I really love doing. And I don't do it for money. So falling back on something that you love doing is a good thing. It's also allowing you to get to know yourself better. Like, what do I love? You know, sometimes we seek something, but we don't find it. For example, I know some friends that bought a boat, and that's it. Life was over for them. The boat is their life. Like, they don't care anymore about the business. They don't care anymore about anything. It's just the boat. That's it. Which means that they really love it. Like, you can immerse yourself completely all day doing something you really love. So, and then you start asking yourself, do I have something like that? And then another thing that I want to talk about, because it's important, when you see the homework, the majority of people, like, you have 100 million, right? Do you believe that 100 million is enough for you to live your life comfortably? Your children would live their life comfortably, and your grandchildren would live comfortably, and your great-grandchildren will live, like 4 generations deep. Everybody can live comfortably, yes?
Yeah, just put in the right places.
Yes.
Without putting, I'm not even talking about putting it anywhere. You have $100 million in your checking account.
Mm.
You pass, it's divided by 3. 33, 33, 33. Each of them keeps it in their bank account. They pass, now they have divided, it's 10, 10, 10. I mean, by the time you get to the 4th, 5th generation, they're still millionaires. You got 4 or 5 generations of millionaires. So the majority of people say, well, I'm going to invest in real estate. I'm going to buy some properties so that I can make more money than, but wait a second, I just gave you 100 million. Like, how much more money do you want? So because we're daily thinking about investing, and we're daily thinking about what to do with money that when we do have it, and how to be smart with your money, and how to, because we're always thinking about that, when we receive this amount, the first thing we think about is, okay, how do I invest this money and get a return? But wait a second, why do you need to invest the money? You already have money. You don't need more. There is no need for more money. So why would you invest the money? And then other people will say, well, I just need 10 mil and I'll take the 90 and do such and such with it. I'm not judging anyone. Everybody, it's all the answers are the right answers, you know, but it's just for me when I'm thinking about, okay, so that's how I am. Okay, I got 100 million, 10 million is charity. Now I really need to think about how I'm changing people's lives with this amount of money. So I take 10 and I'm thinking about, I might even go to 20. Between 10 and 20 is charity. Now I'm left with 80. Okay, now this is how most people, okay, so now I want to buy, I need to pay off my mortgages, or I need to pay off debt, or I want to buy a house for my parents or my sister or this and that. Now you're buying houses for 10 people, you have 70 left. Okay, you got 70. By the way, when you buy someone $1 million house, you just gave them freaking headache, because $1 million house in America, that's
Oh
about
yeah,
40, 50,000,
taxes
30,000 at least in taxes.
plus upkeep.
So there's a lot. I mean, then you understand, okay, maybe 100 million is not as much as I think it is.
Mm.
But if you take 70 mil and you invest it half in the stock market and the other half in real estate, and you just want to average between the two, say 5%, 70 million at 5%, how much is that? 7 million is 10%, right? So how much is half? 3.5 million. So 3.5 million is 5%. That's your income every year. 300,000 a month. Can you spend it? Not unless you're freaking, I don't even know.
Money.
But you're definitely not a minimalist. So then you're like, okay, so I have this income, I got the money sitting, I got 70 mil, I bought my house, I bought 10 people house, I did all that stuff, I gave charity 20 million. I'm okay, now I'm done. Now what? What am I going to do next? And now you start to think about it. Think about it. What am I going to do next? Like, what else would I do? And then you're going to start recognizing, you know what, at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is more or less what I'm already doing. I eat what I like. I sleep in a comfortable bed. I see the people I love, right? I drive a nice car. I go to the beach. The beach didn't change. The car didn't change. Nothing changed. And then you're like, wow, you know, I already have a lot. Like, so all this money in order to do what? You know, to do what I'm already doing. Just without the stress. So you recognize that the entire thing, the entire concept is, which was sold to us all back when, is just keeping us moving the economy and moving things around. But at the end of the day, a person needs to know what they love to do, and they need to know who they love and who they want to spend their time with and what's important in their life. And these kind of questions will pop up, more questions which will narrow down or help you narrow down what's important. And that's really was the purpose of the first session. So if you did your homework, you went through this process, you should be able to feel more comfortable about it. So the next thing we're going to do, let me just open this up, do the full screen. Slideshow. All right. What do you see on your screen?
Nothing showing up yet.
What about now?
Session 2.
Understanding your thoughts.
Okay, good. That's what we need to be. So in order to be able to design the life, the majority of the life experience is thinking. If you think about it, even when you sit down to eat something that you really like, you're still thinking while you're eating. And there's many other things that you do that you like doing, but you're still thinking while you're doing them. Even right now, when I'm talking to you, you're thinking about what I'm saying and how it relates to you and what it means, and all the thoughts go and they go. And if I am going to quiet myself, you're still going to have conversation in your own head. Because thoughts are constantly going, and statistics show that we're thinking tens of thousands of thoughts every day, and 99% of them are exactly the same thoughts we had yesterday, which tells us that thoughts are automatic. The process of thinking is automatic. So in order to be able like person doesn't like your circumstances. I don't like my circumstance, meaning I'm in some sort of a difficulty. Now you're going to start rediscovering that everything that's happening begins somewhere. And the thoughts have a lot to do with that. Like it's the spark, it's the seed that starts everything in your life. If you don't like the tree that grows, like for example, you're planting an apple tree seed and you're expecting bananas. 5 years pass, you get your first apple. Now you're pissed off. Why am I getting apples? I wanted bananas, but you put in, the seed you put in was not for bananas, it was for an apple tree. So now you got apples, you're complaining about apples. Who planted the seed? Who gave you the seed? So we're going to go back and forth between these different subjects. So let's start at the beginning. So first of all, we need to know what's there is a process. So we don't think about it because we're in it, the process. When you're in a process, it's hard for you to see the process because you're in it. I'm going to read something to you from As a Man Thinketh. In the armory of thoughts, a man, it can be a man or a woman, it just was written many years ago, that's how he wrote it. A man forges the weapons by which destroys himself. He also fashions the tools by which he build for himself a heavenly mansions, joy, strength, and peace. What do you learn from that? What does this mean to you? What you just read. In the armory of thoughts, a man forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. Let's stop here. What does that mean?
That it's through a man's thoughts that they can destroy themselves. Find thoughts that are destructive, find patterns that are destructive to himself.
Very good.
Not just thoughts, actions also. Armory of thoughts, but well.
Yeah, so you jump a little bit ahead, which we'll talk about what comes first. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? We'll talk about that. So in the armory of thoughts, which means in all of the weapons of thoughts, like all of your database, your subconscious mind, where you store all your beliefs, your instincts, your thoughts system, a man forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. So this, first of all, tells you that the circumstances that you have in your life are a consequence, a result of how you're thinking. If you don't like something about your life, change what? So this tells you what to change. If you don't like something about your life, you need to change how
You think.
you think about it. He also says, he also fashions the tools by which he built for himself a heavenly mansions of joy, strength, and peace. So thoughts also are capable to destroy someone or build someone, give him the opposite, positive and negative. Thoughts can also fashion heavenly mansions of joy, strength, and peace, which is a beautiful life. Now let's ask a question which relates to, what comes first. So which is really the process? You choose your thoughts or your thoughts are chosen for you?
I think we choose our thoughts,
Nah.
So you're sitting down meditating, or you're sitting down, I want to meditate. You sit down and you're listening to some guided meditation. And what you really want in the moment is, I don't want to think anything. I just want to be here without thinking. I just want to be like in the body, experiencing meditation. And you start counting. You count from 10 to 1. Between 10 and 9, you already have thoughts. 9 to 8 thoughts, and then you get to one and you're still thinking, why am I counting? Who else is counting? Is everybody really counting, or is it just me? Is my eyes closed or everybody's eyes closed? Is someone constantly? So, but then again, I can guide you right now, and you can guide yourself to think about something in particularly. Like I can say, okay, everybody stop, whatever it is what you're doing right now, stop it. And I want you to close your eyes for 1 second. Just close your eyes for a second right now. Close them. Close your eyes. And I want you to see a nice, juicy lemon. Look at the lemon. What color does it have? What's the color of the lemon?
Yellow. What is
Okay.
that?
Anybody sees a red lemon? Everybody sees a yellow lemon, correct?
Mhm.
Right. So when I said, look at the lemon, you saw yellow lemon. What happened? I just told you close your eyes and imagine you're looking at a lemon. Did you see the lemon?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that moment, you guided your thoughts to think about something that you chose to think about. I want to think about a lemon. Close your eyes, think about a lemon. Okay, great. Now I want you to close your eyes again. And if you don't close your eyes, I look at you. Close your eyes. So close your eyes. I want you to imagine a big watermelon sitting on your kitchen counter, right? A big watermelon. What color is it?
Green with dots.
Okay, now take a knife and cut the watermelon in half. What do you see now? Which color?
Red and black.
Gray?
Red with black
If you
seeds.
see a gray watermelon, what do you need to do with it?
Throw it away.
Okay, so look, what I want to tell you is like this. Which is the real process? You choose your thoughts or your thoughts are chosen?
I
The
agree.
majority of the day, you're thinking more than 50,000 thoughts. You can Google it. 50,000 plus thoughts every person. Do you want to tell me that you're controlling 50,000 thoughts? No. So it's an automated pilot. But you have the choice to stop for a second and choose a thought. For example, I'm going to tell you, okay, I want you to think about the lead that you're working on, like one lead, your best lead that you're working on right now. Can you think about that one lead, and do you have the name of the person?
Mhm.
Okay. So you can guide your thoughts to think about something specifically, and then your mind is going to take direction. And then you can stop it, and it will take direction. You stop it, it takes direction. But you can always stop for a second and direct it when needed. When needed. In other words, you have the ability to stop when needed. But you can only do it in a very particular way, and you cannot control it. So if people say you can control your thoughts, I don't know who said that, but I don't believe that it's doable. You might be able to meditate deeply enough to be at a zone where there are no thoughts, just like you're there and you're experiencing being. Yeah, you can quiet your mind to that point, but very few people get to that level. And when they get to that level, it's very hard to stay there. And it's also hard to go back to the chatter. So the more you meditate, the more you begin to quiet the mind. The mind is slowing down the process of automatic thoughts. And you reach a point where you are more deliberate. The thoughts become more deliberate. So we'll talk more about that. That's like, it takes a long time to do all that stuff. Okay, the next thing I want to read to you is the following. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the master of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself that transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. So this is also from the As a Man Thinketh, which by the way is a free book you can read online. as a man thinking. I'll show you at the end of the session. So what is this really telling us? So it tells us that we are a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the master of his own thoughts. So there is a way to master my thoughts. And then he tells me that wherever you see men, you need to think about men and women. It doesn't matter really. So we hold the key to every situation. What does that mean? And we contain within ourselves the transforming regenerative agency by which we make ourselves what we want. So it tells us that there is a way to actually take control of our lives by taking control of our thoughts. It tells us that thoughts can really change the outcome. So by changing the thoughts, we could change the circumstance. It's just going to take a long time. It's not going to happen like that overnight, because you can't control your mind like that overnight, because your mind has been on autopilot for a long time. And to stop it, or to start controlling it, or to start directing it, takes time and a commitment. Such is the conscience master, and man can only thus become by discovering within himself the laws of thought, which discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience. So it's telling you, in order to get to know the power of thought and how it works, and in order for you to really experience the fact that you can literally change your life if you start changing how you're thinking about or what you're thinking about, slowly, when you do that on purpose, you will start controlling the direction of changing those circumstances, which is really where Think Positive is coming from. Okay, actively observing. By patient practice and investigation, oh, what is that? Patient practice and investigation. You need to actually set aside time to start paying attention of what's happening in your mind. Look, when you get to a point that you really control what you're thinking about, you will start changing your life, like the circumstances, how much money you're making, your health, those around you, who you attract to your life, results you're getting in your business, results you're getting all across the board. Things will start shifting in your life when you start grasping how to control the seed. The seed is the thought that starts everything. So what he's telling us here is, with patient practice, you need to be very patient, because it takes time. It takes a long time because you're used to it. It's been happening to you. That's what life is doing. Life is thinking, and it's been happening to you. So you need patience, and you got to practice. Without practice, it's not gonna happen without practice. That's why very little people get to experience that. It's a small percentage of, I don't even know how many in percent, because I don't know exactly the percentage. If you start 1,000 people to do this kind of practice, how many of the people are going to actually quit, and how many of them are actually going to, start recognizing, get to a level where they start seeing really, the two sides. It's happening to me, or I'm making it happen, and going to that. So you need a lot of patience and investigation. That means that you're going in when you're doing these exercises, you need to go in investigating, being aware. In other words, you got to be aware when you're doing those exercises. You got to literally do this consciously, and utilizing his every experience, even to the most trivial everyday occurrences, as a means of obtaining that knowledge of himself, which is understanding, wisdom, power. So he's inviting you basically to begin paying attention and to see what's happening when you pay attention. it requires a lot of attention. It's not going to just happen. So you need to take some time. Like, for example, at the end of each day, do you take the time to contemplate on what happened to you today? Or last night before you went to sleep, did you think about the day, what happened, what brought those results, what you could have changed about it, what kind of thoughts you had about it, your attitude? Are you contemplating it? No, most people don't do that. Okay, so it's almost like we're on autopilot. Autopilot, life is happening, circumstances come. You know, it's not really up to me, but it is. In order for that to start coming into the surface, so you can start paying attention to it, you really need to, first of all, know that it's happening to you. You need to also know that you are doing it, and you need to know how it's happening. So you got to pay attention. Patiently practicing, investigating, and looking at what's going on. What he says here, basically, in our day-to-day language, even the smallest things in your day that are happening are telling you something about yourself. And you need to look at it, because when you get to know yourself, you get to really know your thoughts. You will gain understanding, wisdom, and power just by recognizing and knowing your thoughts. If I told you right now, tell me, I have a question. Since you woke up this morning until this very moment, can you tell me every thought you had in your mind? No. Can you tell me every thought you had in your mind in the last half an hour? Can you go back half an hour and tell me all the thoughts that went through your head, each one and the other one and the other one and the other one?
No,
Which means what?
there's a lot of them.
Which
I know
means
what
that we're not aware of what's happening to us. Now, the experience we live, like the life that we experience, is really thoughts. You're thinking about what happened to you between you and someone, and then you start having these feelings of love or hate or anger or happiness or contentment, gratefulness, whatever. Thoughts have the power to make you feel certain things. But if everything is on autopilot, and each thought leads to another thought, if you don't control your thoughts, you can't control your emotions. In order to control your emotions, you first need to take control of your thoughts. Now, God gave us all the ability to choose what to think about. Like, you can choose right now to think about a lemon, a yellow lemon. Go back to the yellow lemon, go back to the watermelon, cut the watermelon. Like, you're guiding your thoughts to think about something. So you have the ability to do that. You have the ability to choose what to think about. But do you choose what to think about? No, because it goes into autopilot. Now, the more you pay attention to what we just discussed here, you will start recognizing thoughts, and you will start looking at thoughts without participating in the conversation that is happening. The thoughts are talking. Sometimes you have two voices. One says, let's go right. No, let's go left. Why you want to go left? Because if you go right, if you go left, it's like two voices. So to recognize that you have two voices without participating in the conversation is to be the observer, to really start looking that there is thoughts going on, and it's just happening. It's happening automatically. And when you start watching it, you start listening to the thoughts from without connecting to the thoughts. You're just observing them and you're writing them down somewhere. Like, observe, look, patient, practice, and investigation. So you need to look at the thoughts, look at what was it? Like, someone just called you and said, hey, your deal at 123 Main Street is dead. And then you start thinking, oh my God, I'm going to sell the deal. What happened? Whose fault is it? And I was waiting for this check. I need to do this. And then you go into what you had to pay, and now you can't pay. Now you're all stressed out. What I'm going to take, that, and then it starts to go everywhere. You just need to sit there and watch it happen. When you become the person that's really practicing, investigating and doing this process patiently, you're not triggered emotionally anymore because you're doing something else. Your state of being is being occupied by the investigator, the one who needs to practice this exercise of observing thoughts. And that's a whole new level. Going from where you are right now to that level takes a long time and a big, strong commitment. But remember, it is your power to control those thoughts and to start guiding these thoughts. So if I had a bad thought about something and I need to change it, I first need to recognize that I had a bad thought about it. And if I'm thinking the same thoughts every day, it means that I kind of bought into it. It's like you bought into an idea and you keep thinking about it and you're making it part of who you are. And sometimes we will protect those thoughts. We protect those ideas that we heard from someone else or bought it from someone else or something. We make it our own opinions. And these opinions are creating a reality or a circumstance that we don't like or we don't want anymore in our lives. So it says the first thing you got to do is start recognizing that you have a thought process. It's happening to you automatically and you're thinking all day long. Just acknowledge it, come to peace with it and acknowledge it. Now it says be patient and start becoming the investigator. Be the one who is watching thoughts happening, not all the time because it's very difficult, but as you go through the day, catch yourself thinking and say, oh, you see, you just thought about it, and just mark every single time that you're capable of catching yourself thinking about something, positive or negative. Just acknowledge it. Because it's a huge step between being asleep and being awake. And in order for you to control your thoughts, you got to wake up first. So we got to take responsibility. And I want to do, this is a small exercise, writing down a list of thoughts that you comes to your mind in the next 2 minutes. Simply observe and write it down. Write down what showed up. So we're going to be quiet right now for 2 minutes. And I'm just going to allow you to sit there and think about it. It can be that you're thinking about what I just said. It can be that all of a sudden it's jumping into, okay, what time is it? He's already talking, oh, wow, it's already 9:40. I need to do this. I need to write down what shows up. So take 2 minutes and let's go. 2 minutes. Now don't text. Don't start looking at emails. Just sit there and see what shows up. All right, we don't even need to go 2 minutes because I can already see that you guys are thinking. Just tell me what showed up, like what were you thinking about?
I thought about some work I got to do for a property. Also a discussion I had with a person, a friend of mine. And a commission check that I have not received in 3 weeks.
Okay. Yes, Yamanda.
I thought about the things that I have to do during the day. Like the first thought that came up, it was, what do I have in my calendar for the day? And then obviously all the thoughts came, like I have to go do food shopping, because I have to cook before the kids are here, and I have to be at the bus stop at 4:10, and then I have to bring my kids or my daughter to church.
All right. Is that?
What is occupying my mind is a conversation I had with you this morning about an event that I'm trying to put together, and also 2 transactions that are just problematic. So I'm trying
All
to
right.
see how I can save them.
Joyce Mar?
I was thinking about the fact that I hate writing and how long I have to write. I was also trying to catch my son from walking into the dog's water bowl. And I thought about that.
Did you guys recognize how many thoughts and how quickly they jump from one to the next?
Yeah.
It's a lot of thoughts. So you understand the commitment that it takes for someone to really patiently practice observing, investigating. When you get to a point in your life that you can literally choose what to think about, or you're doing it at least a few times a day deliberately, which is, by the way, what visualizing and meditating is all about. Like you start with meditating and then you start visualizing something that you wish to experience in your life. And those visualizations is actively thinking about something and watching it happening in front of you on a screen, like you're watching a movie, which is obviously in future sessions. I just want you guys to understand what it's all about. So homework is to get As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's free online. If you want to buy it, but there's no need. You can literally go online, just read it. You can go to Google and just put that in. You'll see a PDF and you can just read it. You can finish reading the book probably within an hour, the entire book. But each page is so deep that you got to read it and slow down and then just contemplate what you just read. I want you guys between now and next week as homework to read the first chapter of the book daily. So every day you read the first chapter. Tomorrow you read the first chapter. The following day you read the first chapter. You just read the first chapter between now and next Tuesday. Read the chapter and you need to bring that to the meeting next week. So you really need to, if you're reading it every day, you'll know exactly what the first chapter is all about. And then we can have a deeper conversation about it and continue to the next session. Questions?
What to do? Like, do we have to do something with it? Like, we're gonna read it and
Just read it. That's your homework. Read. When you read it, you will start contemplating it. As you're reading it, you will be like, oh yeah, I see it. It makes sense. I can see it. How you just, it's the beginning of the beginning. So
And you said we can get this on for free online?
yeah, just go Google it. As a Man Thinketh, James Allen, it will be right there. You can even put PDF or free book or something. It's just there. It's good to buy it because then you can make notes in the book and work with it. So you can, it's like $3 the book or something like that.
Yeah, okay. I'll order from Amazon and download
But
it.
I just don't want you to wait for it. I don't want you to read it like, so just go online this week and read it.
Okay.
But you need to read the first chapter daily. So you're reading it I'm telling you, I can read the first chapter daily for months.
Oh, how powerful.
Forget about it. All right. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, Ron. Have a good one.
thank you.